I arrived at the doctor's surgery to book an appointment. But everything seemed very strange. There were no appointments available, yet the waiting room was empty. I counted the doors: room 1, room 2, room 3, and up to room 17. I remember the surgery only had 6 consultation rooms. I tried one. It was locked, and another locked. And every corridor revealed a new floor. I felt watched. Suddenly, a woman emerged from the corridor. I came here 2 days ago for a blood test. Just endless floors. If this was an intended maze, it was not letting us go easily. But there were now 2 minds resisting the process. We rounded a wall, leading into a room. There was a metal chair bolted to the floor, and screens embedded in the wall, faces that I recognised from the doctor's office. There was a room with monitors showing live feeds from other surgeries, a digital board listing names, ages. Processed. What does that mean? She whispered. They want us to keep going. Maybe we're rats in a maze. Maybe they're watching to see how long it takes before we go mad. Then we don't go mad. We find the way out. The slits for windows were too high to reach. We shouted for help. Our phones were dead. The ceiling tiles, each one humming with a low frequency that seemed to vibrate through my bones. A faint glow, barely perceptible, seeping through a crack along the skirting board, revealing a narrow passage just wide enough for one person. What lay beyond was a huge chamber, humming with energy. It looked like a quantum computer. The air felt charged, like standing in a thunderstorm. Had we crossed into a space where reality itself was being rewritten? I thought back to the moment when this all began. The doctor's empty waiting room. From the elevator. Yes, it must have been the elevator. That must have been it. The lift wasn't a lift. It was a gateway. It's learning. Every moment was catalogued. At the centre hung the quantum core itself, a chandelier of gold and wires. Does that mean we're inside of it? But somewhere there had to be a control point, a way to reverse whatever had happened. To escape was never the objective, just the experiment. The chamber was cold. If it gets too warm, it behaves like a nuclear reactor and it would shut down. But there was a button. I pressed it. The ground began to heave. Edges flickered like glass and static. Monica pressed her hand to the glass. This is it. This is where it all runs from. It looks alive, and it's like panicking, but it can't live without this. Warm it, and the simulation dies. It's already unstable. We don't have long. The war of venting helium became a scream. Light fractured, spilling in shards across the air. It's trying to rewrite us. I can feel the code literally crawling. The room began to collapse into a smear of static before shattering like glass. Monica shouted over the chaos, "We were never meant to see this!" The last of the helium vented into a deafening blast. The quantum core collapsed, in on itself. Inside this artificial world, the building ripped down the middle. Together they leapt into the void as the last fragments of the simulation dissolved into silence. We'll either wake up or we'll vanish with the code. Better be free and gone than trapped forever. And then silence. The crawl space led us back to the surface. We survived a shift in reality. We walked into the surgery. It was how I remembered it. It wasn't until we reached Monica's house that we found the files. Monica was a systems analyst with top-level clearance. She said there was a secret program, a global initiative called the Hive Protocol, that can control behaviour and thought of every human on Earth. And the method to do this? Through an implant. Rewriting their impulses, each elevator a portal, and once inside, you were connected to the hive mind. Monica thought it was all fiction, experimental. How naive she was. A single consciousness guiding billions. A synthetic messiah born from code, and behind it, a human mind. And somewhere deep beneath the surface, the quantum mind was rebooting. They'll tell you we're streamlining the system, a smarter way to care for the human race. They offer convenience, but what they took was far greater. Our thoughts, our choices, our souls. And when the easy option comes, refuse it. Because once you accept it, you are doomed. The system will own your mind. But there is one who stands above it all. He does not need machines. He waits for your trust. And if you choose him, he will rescue you before it's too late. But if you don't, you'll be lost forever.